Woman's deepest desire can't be bought with money. You tried, you worked hard, you planned her birthday, picked the perfect place, paid for every dinner. You gave her your time, your money, your care. You did everything right. But in the end, she chose someone else. Someone who didn't try as hard as you. Someone who didn't even seem to deserve her. And you ask yourself, why not me? After everything I gave, why did she choose him? Deep down, maybe you still believe the old idea. Women love money. But if that was true, why didn't your money win her heart? It's easy to say women are just emotional. But the truth is deeper. The German thinker Erich Fromm once said, "Love is not something you find. It is something you build inside yourself." In simple words, it's not about what you have. It's about how you make her feel. Women don't fall for your wallet. They fall for something they can't explain. Something invisible. Raw. Something that pulls her in even when she knows she shouldn't want it. That's why some women go back to the same man who never bought her anything, but still lives in her mind. So in this video, let's go deep. We'll break down, step by step, what women love more than money, and how you might already have it without knowing. Emotional power over financial power. The world has changed. In the past, women often had to depend on a man for survival. He had the money, he had the power, so a man's value was measured by what he could provide. But now, she earns her own income. She has her own career, her own bank account, her own plans. She's no longer waiting for a man to give her a future. She's already building one. And because of this shift, something deeper has taken the front seat. Emotional strength now matters more than financial strength. Of course, money still plays a role. It always will. But it's not the most important thing anymore. That's why today you'll see something strange. There are men who are rich, successful, well-dressed, and still get left behind. While other men with no fancy car, no luxury clothes, no big house, are remembered, chased, even obsessed over. Why does this happen? Because what really makes the difference is not money. It's something called emotional leadership. This is the quiet power some men have. They don't need to raise their voice. They don't need to buy attention. Their presence alone guides the emotional space. Modern relationships have become a hidden power game. It's not about who talks the most or gives the most. It's about who stays grounded when emotions rise. Who stays calm when the other gets loud? Who holds steady when the other breaks down? The man who can control his own emotional state. The man who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't panic. That man becomes a rock in a storm. And that kind of man is rare. Women may not say it directly, but they feel it. They feel the difference between a man who is led by emotion and a man who leads through emotion. The first one is easy to forget. The second one is impossible to replace. So if you want to know what truly attracts a woman in today's world, stop asking, "How much should I earn?" and start asking, "Can I lead her heart when she loses her own balance?" Because in today's world, emotional power is the new wealth. Growth is magnetic. Love isn't just about feeling good, it's about becoming better. Most people think love is only about comfort, warmth, affection, peace. And yes, those things matter. But true, lasting attraction goes beyond comfort. It pulls you towards something higher. A kind man makes her feel safe. But a strong man makes her want to grow. He doesn't force her to change. He doesn't tell her what to do. He doesn't act like her teacher. Instead, he becomes the kind of man who is growing himself. And that alone inspires her to evolve too. She sees it in his habits, how he gets up early with discipline, how he follows through on his goals, how he doesn't seek approval but moves forward with quiet fire. He doesn't brag, he doesn't try to impress. But everything he does has a purpose. And that purpose is what draws her in. She looks at him and sees the kind of person she wants to become. Not because he said anything, but because he lives it. That's real influence. Not loud, not controlling, just present, just real. It's like standing near a fire. He doesn't need to speak for you to feel the warmth. Women are highly sensitive to this kind of energy. They can feel when a man is truly focused, growing, and building something, even if he doesn't talk about it. His presence speaks louder than his words. This kind of man doesn't chase success just for attention. He's not trying to prove anything. He's simply becoming better because it's in his nature, and that steady growth, that inner fire, makes her want to grow too. It awakens her own ambition. It challenges her to rise, and that is what makes him unforgettable. Because in the end, love isn't about staying the same. Real love is a mirror, and the right man reflects back the strongest version of who she could be. Calm is attractive. Women are naturally drawn to calm men, not because calmness is boring, but because calm is strength. Every person, deep down, has two emotional needs: to feel safe and to feel free. A woman wants both. She wants to feel protected, but not controlled. She wants to feel held, but not trapped. Now here's the truth most men miss. When a man is too soft, too emotional, or too reactive, she doesn't feel free, she feels responsible for him. She begins to feel like the one carrying the emotional weight. She may say she wants a kind, sweet, gentle man. But when that man panics easily, shows too much emotion, or becomes too needy, her mind starts to whisper, "This man can't protect me." Let's take a simple example. Two men are faced with a crisis. One starts complaining, blaming, shouting. The other remains quiet, centered, breathing slowly, thinking clearly. Which one would you trust? Which one would you want beside you when life falls apart? That's exactly what women feel. They're not just watching how you act when things go well, they're watching how you carry yourself when things go wrong. The calm man doesn't mean he hides emotion. He feels anger, he feels fear, but he manages it. He doesn't explode, he doesn't shrink, he holds steady, like a rock in the ocean. And this is rare. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "A man who is ruled by anger is the weakest of all." And women feel that truth in their bones, because emotions are contagious. If you're angry, she becomes tense. If you're anxious, she gets nervous. But if you stay calm, truly calm, she begins to breathe easier. She may not understand why, but she feels safe around you, and safety creates trust. That trust opens the door to connection, attraction, and intimacy. So remember this: your calmness is not silence, it's not coldness, it's energy that grounds her when she loses balance. Be the man whose presence says without a word, "No matter what happens, I'm not shaken." That is a rare kind of power, and that is what she feels before anything else. The illusion of money. Since you were young, the world told you one thing again and again. Women love rich men. Movies show it, songs say it, even your friends believe it. So it's no surprise that many men grow up thinking the same thing. They think, if I just earn more, if I buy her gifts, take her to expensive places, wear expensive clothes, she will choose me. It sounds simple. Money equals love. But reality often proves otherwise. Because even after spending so much, even after giving her everything, she may still walk away. And worse, she might choose someone who has less than you. Less money, less status, fewer things to offer. Why? Because money is not what women are really chasing. Money is just a tool. And like any tool, it only works when it's used the right way. Think of it like this. Money is like a key. But it only opens the door if it connects to the right lock, her emotions. A woman doesn't truly want money itself. What she wants is the feeling that she thinks money might bring, the feeling of being safe, the warmth of being understood, the comfort of a shared future, the deep trust that she's with someone strong. In the past, money meant safety for women. It meant a roof, food, stability, things she couldn't easily get on her own. But now she can earn her own income. She can live her own life. So her needs have changed. Now, what she truly wants is a man who can give her the feeling of being safe, not just the bank account. A man who listens to her calmly, who stays grounded when she's upset, who leads not with his money, but with his presence. This is why some men with little money still attract women deeply, because they create emotions that no gift can buy. So the real question is no longer, how much do you have? It's, how does she feel when she's around you? If she feels calm with you, if she feels challenged in a good way, if she feels understood, seen, respected, then even a small room can feel like a palace. But if you give her diamonds while acting weak, unsure, or needy, she will forget you. Because what women want is not what shines on the outside, it's what touches something deep on the inside. Don't react, don't chase. In every relationship, one person controls the emotional space and the other follows. And whether she knows it or not, a woman is always watching to see who leads that space. She may not say it with words, but she'll say it with actions. She'll take longer to reply. She'll go cold for no reason. She'll change her tone. She'll pull away slightly, then come back, then pull away again. And you'll be left wondering, did I do something wrong? But that's not the real question. The real question is this: can you hold your ground when the emotional weather changes? Because when she shifts her energy, she's not always trying to hurt you. She's testing something. She's asking, with her silence, are you strong enough to stay calm when I become unpredictable? Will you hold your center when I shake the ground beneath you? And this is where most men fail. They panic. They chase. They send long emotional messages. They beg for answers. They ask, did I upset you? They try to fix the moment with logic, or worse, with desperation. And the second she sees you react emotionally, she feels something deep inside. You are not in control. You're not grounded. You've lost your inner calm. And now, you're following her mood instead of leading your own. Attraction begins to fade at that moment. Because leadership, especially emotional leadership, isn't loud. It's quiet, strong, and centered. The German philosopher Schopenhauer once said, "A man who is ruled by emotions lives under someone else's power." And that is what she sees when you lose control. So what's the answer? The answer is non-reaction. That's real strength. When the energy shifts, you don't flinch. You don't explain yourself out of fear. You don't beg for her attention. You don't try to fix everything. You stay still. You stay grounded. You breathe. You let silence speak for you. Sometimes when she's upset, she doesn't want solutions. She just wants to feel your unshakable presence. That alone makes her feel safe. This doesn't mean you become cold or distant. It means you don't allow your emotions to be dragged by hers. You are there, solid, present, but not controlled. This kind of calm energy is rare, and women feel it more deeply than any gift, compliment, or display of wealth. It tells her one thing without words. This man cannot be moved by storms. He is the mountain. And that is a power few men ever learn to hold. Too much safety kills desire. Here's a strange truth most men never learn. Yes, calm is attractive, but too much comfort can kill desire. Why? Because women don't only want peace, they also want excitement. They want contrast, surprise, mystery, feelings that wake them up inside. You see, when everything is safe, predictable, and sweet, it can also become boring. At first, she may like the man who's always available, who replies instantly, who says yes to everything, who adjusts to every plan, who never disagrees. But over time, she starts to feel something strange. This man is always there. I already have him. And in that moment, something inside her turns off. The spark dies, not because he did something wrong, but because he made himself too easy to reach. Psychologists call this reward unpredictability. It means the human brain reacts more to surprises than to things it already knows. It's the same reason why people become addicted to gambling. They never know when the win will come, and that mystery hooks their attention. Love and desire work in similar ways. If a woman feels she's already won you completely, her brain stops chasing. Her emotions calm down, not in a good way, but in a bored way. So how do you keep desire alive? You don't need to play games, you don't need to act cold or pretend you're busy, but you do need to protect your energy. Leave space, let silence speak sometimes. Don't explain every emotion. Don't always say yes right away. Don't always be the first to reach out. Let her wonder a little. Let her miss you. Let her ask herself, what's going on in his mind? That space pulls her in. It makes her lean forward. It creates that beautiful tension between closeness and distance, the space where desire grows. Remember, if she always knows what you'll do, if she always feels she has full control, she'll stop seeing you as a mystery. She'll stop feeling that pull. The goal is not to confuse her. The goal is to awaken her senses. And sometimes, the best way to do that is not by giving more, but by giving less. Not to push her away, but to let her feel the space she must walk across on her own. Because desire doesn't grow in what is owned. It grows in what feels just out of reach. Presence without neediness. There's a kind of man who doesn't speak much, he doesn't try to impress, but the room changes when he enters. He doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't need to be chosen. And yet, women feel something strange around him, like gravity, like a mystery they can't explain. Why? Because his presence carries no need. Neediness pushes people away, even if you smile, even if you're kind. When she feels that you're trying too hard, something in her pulls back. But the man who is complete within himself, who can sit in silence without making it awkward, who doesn't overtext, overtalk, or overshare, he gives off a different signal. I am whole. I don't need you, but I see you. That energy creates a puzzle in her mind. She thinks, why doesn't he want more from me? Why isn't he trying like the others? And that confusion pulls her closer. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. When the brain expects one thing, but gets another, and to fix that feeling, she keeps thinking about you, trying to understand you, trying to get closer. This is not a trick. It's the natural result of being genuinely whole. So ask yourself, do I show up because I need her attention? Or because I already feel complete, with or without it? The man who does not need becomes the man she cannot ignore. The final power. Walking away. This is the final and most difficult truth. The quiet power most men never master. The ability to walk away. Not out of anger, not to punish her, but from a place of self-worth. It's not about being cold or heartless. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to stay where you are not respected. You may care about her deeply, you may love her more than anyone else, but if she crosses your boundaries, if she disrespects you, if she stops valuing who you are, you walk, and that silent strength shakes her more than any argument ever could. Because deep down, every human has one fear that changes everything. The fear of losing what they don't fully control. The man who is always there, always available, always forgiving, always trying, he becomes easy to forget. But the man who could disappear, the man who stays by choice, not by fear, he stays in her mind. This doesn't mean you leave at the first problem. It means you have a clear line inside you. A quiet voice that says, I will not stay where I am not valued. And you respect that voice more than you chase attention. That's what creates power. But this power must be real. You can't fake detachment. You can't pretend you're willing to walk away while still chasing from the shadows. She will feel it. Women are incredibly sensitive to truth. They know when you're bluffing. They know when your strength is an act. That's why the power to walk away must come from within. Not as a tactic, but as a truth. You stay with her not because you need her to complete you, but because you genuinely enjoy walking beside her. You love freely, but you do not beg. You forgive, but you do not forget who you are. Because real love is not control. It is choosing each other again and again from a place of strength, not fear. Final words. So what do you do now? Stop doing what always felt wrong. Stop writing messages just to feel okay. Stop smiling when you're not happy. Stop trying to prove you're good enough. Let all that go. Be silent. Be still. Be real. Because real power doesn't come from tricks. It comes from who you're becoming. Don't fake calm. Become calm, and your presence will speak louder than anything you say. Now ask yourself, What version of you must die so the real one can rise? Thank you for watching. If this message hit something real inside you, if even one sentence made you pause, reflect, or feel a shift, type "awakened" in the comments. Just one word. Let's see how many men are waking up silently, without noise, without drama, just truth. And if you're ready for more, subscribe to the channel, because this is just the first step.